training opportunities. So before we get started, I'd like to bring up Keith Fulcher to bring greetings on behalf of the host hotel and the Community Foundation of Northwest Mississippi.
Thank you, thank you. It's okay to clap too. Let me bring out our hosts first, and I'll let them introduce themselves. This room is thousands and thousands of dollars. Come on, send a post. Somebody's taking photos, I'm sure. You need to send it to Dinesh, your father. This room was thousands of dollars, and he greatly discounted it. Dinesh Chavla, correct? Greatly discounted, or we would not have been able to afford to be here. Am I right about that?
That's right.
So this is just an elegant opportunity. So I wanted to make sure we give recognition to the owner's son and his VP.
I just want to thank y'all for coming out. That's pretty much it. Yeah. First we can do the point.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, Samir said it. We thank y'all. It's for a great organization and great for Mississippi. So we're glad to host. We want to help any way we can.
Okay, thank you. Let's hear it for me. So, Keith Fulcher, Community Foundation of Northwest Mississippi. I just retired from Delta State University, 23 years raising money. Grew up in Vicksburg, Mississippi. I'm the grandson of an alcoholic, illiterate sharecropper from Yazoo City. I just want to get that on the table because these are the types of families that we're still trying to help. The ones who live on the dirt roads, the gravel roads, and the blacktop roads. I see the mayor shaking her head. Those are the individuals who need transportation, broadband. Right about that, Commissioner Simmons? They need education, they need health care, and there's no better way to bring it to them, Sally Doty, than through broadband and through interstates. Right? Get that out 69 quickly. But the person who masterminded this whole event, Tom Pittman. So I want to bring Tom Pittman, President Emeritus of the Community Foundation, and then a few words.
Thank you, Keith. Keith's always a nice intro. I appreciate that very much. And thank you all for being here. I wanted to say that the Community Foundation got started 20 years ago out of an effort to put an online computer in every public school classroom, first in one county and throughout the state, making our state a leader in in crossing the digital divide in that way. Since that time, we wound up working with the co-founder of Wikipedia to create a learning website that had 6 million page views per month. We were actually the second site for what is now the leading education technology company, EverFi, which resulted in 25% of the kids in our area learning personal finance through computers. And that spread throughout the state, so every high school student in the state had access to that. So we have a long history of understanding the importance of computers, internet, broadband, and as Keith said, now is really the opportunity to fully cross that digital divide line so that everybody can participate in what is obviously the future. So that if we need everybody on board, everybody's talent, everybody's interest, thank you for being here because you all are leaders in that sort of effort. So thank you very much for being here. It's a pleasure to host with you.
We are streamers, so find me on Facebook, find Keith Fulcher, find me on Facebook. It's a photo of my family at the Grammy Museum with my son holding a guitar, and you can post it on your Facebook page so we can get more viewers. And then, Angela, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Fulcher. Mr. Fulcher was my high school principal. Before we get started in our presentations, I would like to recognize our elected officials. If you would please stand, and thank you for your attendance today. Our first presenter is Senator Sally Doty. She is the new Director of the Office of Broadband Expansion and Accessibility of Mississippi.
Thank you so much. As I look around this room, I see a lot of familiar faces. And we have been talking about expanding broadband in Mississippi for quite a while. Although my office is relatively new. I am the director of Beam. Beam was established by the legislature during this last legislative session. We really became operational July 1st. So we've been at it for just a few months. And I was on a conference call just the other day with someone who said, you know, Sally, I really think y'all have done about 2 years worth of work in about 4 or 5 months. And I said, yeah, I think we have too. So we have been really focused and working hard to meet a lot of different deadlines and kind of behind the scenes things that have to happen before this broadband money comes down to our state. I don't think I have to talk to anyone in this room about the importance of broadband, right? We all agree. We need it. We've got to have it. We need more of it. We need reliable, accessible, affordable broadband for everyone in the state. And it is my job to make sure we get that. So, I want to tell you a little bit about our office. Actually, let's just, and first, I brought my team with me, and without them, I couldn't keep everything straight. You know, our office is under the Department of Finance and Administration, which is directly under the governor's office. And I will tell you that Governor Reeves is very engaged in what's going on in our office, and we have a message from him that we will play for you. We hope. This is the first time we've rolled out our video from the governor, so hope y'all will give us a little grace here. There we go. You love technology, but you hate technology, right? Like all of us.
Expansion and accessibility of Mississippi community engagement meetings. To best prepare Mississippians for the jobs of the next 50 years, we need to ensure that every resident has access to the full breadth of benefits that technology has to offer. The state of Mississippi is working incredibly hard to do exactly that. I was proud to appoint Sally Doty as meetings director. She and her team have hit the ground running as we work to increase access to the digital technologies needed to compete in the 21st century. One of my top priorities is ensuring that every Mississippian has the opportunity to leverage the advantages of broadband. And I believe that one zip code should determine his or her access to its benefits. That's why we're committed to overcoming geographical barriers and leveling the playing field by providing technological opportunities for Mississippians across every corner of our state. To effectively accomplish this, we are engaging local communities and learning from their perspectives on the issues that matter most to them. Because after all, you and your neighbors know best what's needed to improve your neighborhood. We want to hear directly from you, and that's why today is so important. We want to know what challenges you and your communities face. We want to know what ideas you have, and yes, we want to know how we can better serve you. Over the coming months, Beam will be doing critical work as they'll seek to map out down to each individual address who does and who does not have broadband service. This mapping will help to lay the foundation of our efforts to equip Mississippians with broadband technology over the coming years. But we need your help to make this happen. You play a central role in this process, and the state of Mississippi is glad to partner with you on this important initiative. In closing, thank you for your willingness to help improve Mississippi and to bring broadband to communities across this great state. Enjoy today's meeting, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you, and God bless.
Broadband is the future of Mississippi, right? When I hear broadband, it really just means opportunity to me. And I think it's going to bring such opportunities to areas like the Delta, to small rural areas that have just been unable to compete in the past. And it really is a game changer. So I'm excited to be such a part of this. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about what our office is doing and what we're engaged in. So first of all, I have a slide of our office. There we go. We all went to the fair a couple of days ago or a couple of weeks ago, the state fair. We're a small office. There's only, we started with 6. We have 6 state workers. We also have Angelique, who works with us on contract, Angela Lee. So total of 7 staff. So we're small, but we all wear many hats. We will be adding other contract workers on and vendors on as we get more into grant management, because that would be a necessity. We are really at the cusp right now. We're about to stand up our first funding opportunity, which is the Capital Projects Fund. It is $162 million that is coming to the state. We have our application in with feds. It has not been approved yet. I don't know when that will be. It was due September 24th. I hoped we would have a pretty quick turnaround on it, because really our application is nothing new. We're not doing anything crazy with that money. We're not going to build any buildings. We're going to build, we want broadband infrastructure. That's what we want. So hopefully we'll get some good news on that soon. If any of you providers in the room, I see several, our rules for that have gone up. We've kind of gone over that in some calls with providers, but the rules should be up on the Secretary of State's website today. In fact, I saw them yesterday. We've been working hard to get that up. So just as soon as we get approval from the feds, we will put our application portal up and start taking applications, and then go through a challenge process as defined in our Mississippi statute that we have to follow. Because we certainly want all of that money to go to, unserved areas. We're not, overbuilding. We've got too many areas of need here in the state of Mississippi. So, Capital Projects Fund should be, I hope, up and running by the end of the year. I sure hope, but I'm waiting on the Treasury Department to make that decision. So that is what we have been really working on, is meeting those deadlines. But in addition to it, we are looking at mapping, as the governor alluded to. This is our current map that we are working with, and it is very much a puzzle. It is a jigsaw puzzle of finding those areas that do not have service and then finding the best way to serve those areas. We have an RFP out right now for a mapping contractor to help us get into this in more detail. So in the past, there were FCC maps out there years ago that said, Mississippi's all served, or Mississippi has, a good amount of service, which we all knew was untrue, right? It was because there were some satellite providers that said, we serve the entire state. Or if in the past, all of this was recorded by census block, and if there was one address in the census block that was served, well, they considered the entire census block served, which is very unfair to the rest of the people in the census block, right? So now there is a different method, a different manner of mapping that the FCC has undertaken, and that we are going to undertake as a state, that will really go down to the address level. And we're going to find every address and determine whether or not broadband is available to that address, and then figure out the right way, the right method, provider to get to that person or that household. So that is what we are looking at for first of all, for CPF. We certainly are looking at those unserved areas and where that Capital Projects Fund money is going to go. But then the bigger pot of money that is coming our way is BEAD, Broadband Equity and Accessibility Deployment, I guess the D, I'm not sure. But that is really the bigger pot of money that is coming to the state. I've seen a lot of different numbers of how much the state might get. It is dependent on your number of unserved areas in your state, your unserved addresses. There's a formula. And of course, our numbers are moving and changing all the time. Doing this mapping is going to help us settle down on our numbers. But I see everything from, $1.2 billion. Is kind of a high number I've seen. Honestly, I'm not quite sure we'll get that amount of funding because thank you to our co-ops that were here today who are building out just as fast as they can. There's some other federal funding, other groups that are building out. We're really making a dent on those unserved areas. So I think 1.2 billion is a little bit high. But if they give us 1.2 billion, we will use every drop of it. I will tell you that. It is going to be a challenge, I think. Even with that incredible amount of money, it's going to be a challenge to reach all of these areas in Mississippi. Go back one, actually, if you would, to the overall map. Where you see white, there is no service, there's no broadband service. So it's a challenge. We're going to have a map up soon. For this capital projects fund, for the applications, we're going to have a map up. We're going to have, the map's going to define some critical need areas, which are areas that don't even have 25/3. And then it will have areas that don't have broadband service, which in Mississippi, we've defined that by statute, it's 120. So that will all be up within the next month. I hope the feds give us the go-ahead, and then we put everything up, get the application portal up, and start going. So that is my goal. But BEAD is what is looming in front of us, and we want to do everything we can to get ready for this larger pot and amount of money that is coming next spring, next summer, and we're trying to get all of our mapping done before then. So we can be ready. Let's see what else we got here. Actually, we got, we did a few, I know you can't see it very well, go one more. We took a look around, even where we are right here, in this census block, it is unserved, the speeds aren't underserved, the speeds are not high enough. And then just a mile away, go to the next one, just a mile away, and I'm sorry, the lighting is where you can't see this very well, it is unserved, a mile away, unserved. So we are looking at all of these areas, it's it's a puzzle. Gotta find the right fit, gotta find the right provider. What's it gonna take to get somebody into that area and let's shrink those areas? What else we got on here? Is somebody else going to talk about the Affordable Connectivity Program? So this program is in existence right now. It provides a $30 a month benefit for broadband service. Your providers are participating in this. They have to participate in it to receive any federal funding that my office is going to be giving out. So this is something that you may want to go ahead and get out in your community. Also, it will provide $100, a one-time $100 benefit to help you buy a computer or a tablet, iPad. So it is a very, very good program that is in existence. There's some definable groups that fit in it. I think it's 200% and below the poverty level. Yes. So we have some of these flyers today, and certainly would love for you to take that and advertise that among your group. We are monitoring those numbers. We can see kind of how many people in Mississippi have signed up for it. And we know there are a lot more households in Mississippi that fit the parameters for this program that have signed up for it. So please encourage your community to do that. What else we got? That's it. I am very eager to hear everyone else today. We are not only involved in this, administering all these federal grants that come down in our office. We also are housing our digital skills and accessibility grant program that Angelique is leading us on. And to me, that's really now fun. But, these programs are fun where we really hope to reach into communities and make a difference, make a sustainable difference for the future. So I just want to thank all of you for being here today. We're pretty easy to find. If you need to talk to us, we'll be glad to. We are pretty busy these days, so you gotta make it past our office manager to talk with us. But we're working just as hard as we can to set up all of the procedures and processes so when this federal money becomes available and is ready to come down, that man, we can hit the ground running. So thank you all for being here today. And I believe next is my friend Commissioner Willie Simmons. So I'm going to turn the microphone over to him.
Come on, Commissioner. Of course, next on our agenda is our favorite Central District Transportation Commissioner, Mr. Willie Simmons.
I thought I was going to stand ovation after 7. Thank you all. Good morning. Good morning. How many of you all do know what broadband is all about? Raise your hand if you do. All right, all of you who raise your hand, you can leave. The rest of you need to stay. Broadband is very important. I want to thank my good friend Salvador for accepting the responsibility of being in charge in this effort. Sal and I go back, we served the Senate together, and she was a great senator coming out of somewhere down around Brookhaven City. And she was a senator that I saw do something that was kind of unusual. One, she came to me with all my seniority that I had been around for a minute, and I was trying to get a piece of legislation passed dealing with drivers distracted. And that's literally getting on the telephone and talking and running into me and you and everybody else. So we tried to create and pass legislation to help regulate that, especially with our young kids. So I'm offering the deal with all my seniority and I could never get it passed. Salvador walked with me at the end of it after the bill had been defeated. She said, you know what? This is an important piece of legislation, so you allow me to work with you next year, and we'll pass this legislation. So the next year, I deferred to Sal. I became a mentee and followed her. And we passed the legislation, okay? So it became law, and really started helping Mississippi, and based on the information that we received, we have saved lives. So thank you so much, Sal, for that, okay? But she also, other kind of things would be helpful. Now I'm going to get that over here for about 15 minutes to talk about broadband. This young lady over here, Angelique, she's my girl, and she's my campaign manager when I was running for the transportation mission. So you owe Angelique a round of applause for my being a mission. But she's a jewel. Now my friend the governor take me appointed Sal, who was a friend. Sal had hired Angelique, who was a friend. So I got 3 friends involved in broadband. So any problems that you are having, call one of my friends. Now we got a good team in Delta. Let me just quickly say to you though, that broadband is so important, and the reason we know it's so important, and the reason that the Delta was chosen to be the very first stop that they did, and that's what they told you in the introduction, is that they came to the Delta first. They didn't come here to use us as a guinea pig. They came here because they realized and recognized that they have friends and they have individuals in this area, but more important, there is a large number of citizens throughout our community who have a need for the services. We saw it so very well spelled out when COVID hit. And when COVID hit, and our school system had to go to virtual learning, and virtual learning meant they were going to be at home, not in person in school. We did not have, many of our homes were not able for the students to get online and do their homework because they did not have access. We documented that, it's well known, and what we ended up seeing in many communities was that buses or vans, would be pulled up in communities and referred to as a hotspot that would fire the community up. Now, just imagine that was going on. which means that there was not enough buses to get out into some of the communities. In some cases, we may not have had homes that was identified, or 1 or 2 homes in the area, and you still was missing out of those students. So those students would have to be picked up, brought into the library, or brought someplace near us. In some cases, I was told that parents would drive up to a Walmart parking lot, where there was a van or a bus park, and that would become a hot spot, and they would be able to access. Now that is just in program. That in 2020, we would have to do that. Sally recognized that, and the governor recognized that, and the government recognized that. So as a result of that, the legislature, I believe back in 2020, Senator Robert Jackson is here, and I think Senator Simmons was here. But the governor, along with the legislature in 2020, passed legislation and appropriated, which I think still have it, huh? Okay. Appropriated money for the broadband program. That was the initial funding. And that was before all of this federal money that you heard Sally talking about was coming down. But the state of Mississippi realized that we needed to put money into the broadband. So in 2020, the legislation passed and put money into initial funding. And as a result of that, you'll see some of our co-ops starting to utilize some of that money to go out. We have one present here today. Doug, would you stand please? Delta Electric is already started, and I think they told me they've done about 1,100 miles, and that's a lot of miles. Now, 1,100 miles means that they are connecting communities that was not connected in the past. It also means that they are connecting homes, because we at one time thought that you were going to see fiber in many cases just running into a community. You put up a tower or something, and that would be the accessibility. What Sally and what Delta Power and other co-ops are doing is that they are running the fiber, they're running and connecting the communities and their homes, so that every home initially, in the end of the day, will be connected. That's going to be so important. And that's going to be a game changer, because with what we have seen in the past, where individuals are now working from home, you know, it doesn't matter what zip code is indicated, or where you live on the street or on the rural highway or road. We want to make sure that if you are in a position to have a job and can work from home, that you have the ability to connect and internet and make that work. But more important, that if your child is in school, Reverend Roebuck, we want more money. And because you're late, we understand you introduce the bill to make it happen. But that's my friend, I can do that. Y'all can't do that. But we want to make sure that those children won't have to go through what they went through in COVID-19. So once again, we want to thank you for that. I, as the Commissioner of Transportation, we don't necessarily have a lot to do in transportation with it, other than the fact that whenever we are building highways, major contracts that we are letting, we run fiber along our highways. So in many cases, when you get into co-ops like with Delta Power, they'll be able to connect to some of that fiber and pull it off. When they tap into it right now, we don't even generate any money from it. They just tap into the services when they permit given by MDOT, and MDOT really doesn't get any money off of that. But those fibers are running up and down our right of ways throughout the state of Mississippi. So that's going to be helpful. But even with that, there are so many areas in our state that do not have it, so they're working toward it. So today, I'm proud to stand here and tell you that opportunities are here today like they've never been before. And you need to make sure you take advantage of it. Sally talked about mapping. One of the things that you, a local community, can do, and persons living in the community, whether it be your church, treatment, the company business that you work with, and adult daycare, all of those various programs in the community, you can participate in the map. And the way you participate in the mapping is to make sure that your community, through the mayor, like Mayor Bill Niles in Cleveland and other mayors, Mayor Peterson up in Mount Light, but you all are putting together kind of a layout of your community. And you are identifying where individuals are. Because in many cases, in putting together that map that Sally talked about, you can miss home because you know how community lay out. You pull up in Willis community out of the rural, and you see a road running that says Willis Road, and there are 3 homes on it. So you pick those 3 homes up, but if you drive down the turn road, and you folks in the city don't know what I'm talking about. If you drive down the turn road, you'll find that there's another home over there. And then when you go back into the woods, there's another home over there. I think Sally going to connect to all those homes. Is that not right? Yeah. So what you're going to do in working in your community is to identify on your little map where all those homes are, to make sure none are not tapped into it. And then you're going to provide that information to Angelique and to Sally and others, so that when they are mapping and putting together this map sheet, we're showing you all those homes are there. Now, in doing that, you probably going to run into a situation where your brother, a good businessman who knows how to connect and link, it may very well be that Delta Power needs a sub to help run and connect into those homes. So it may create an opportunity for that business. I'm not telling you that it will, but it may possibly do. So in your community, you want to identify where the homes are. You want to identify where those potential businesses are and who they are that might be able to help connect that. So then if through the federal government, thanks to the president and Congress for the money they're sending down and the legislature, if the additional money is put in place so that co-ops like Delta Power can continue to move from that 1,100 to another 1,100 and move into other counties, they then are going to have a map as to where the homes are located, and they will have kind of a pool of individuals who they can tap into if they need assistance to go to work, to help them do that. The other opportunity that I would say is that it's going to be an opportunity for our families and our communities to be connected to the future. As the governor indicated, we have to be technically connected in all cases if we are going to make it work. Connected so that you can go online and you can order your food in Walmart and go pick it up, even if you live out on Willis Rural Road. If you live back in the hollow, you still have to tap in because you have that connection. Connectivity is very important to us for we are today, very important. So with that, I'm going to give it back to my friend, and if you have a question, I guess he will let you ask me a question at some point.
Thank you, Commissioner. We will have an opportunity to ask questions during our informal discussion opportunity at lunch. While I bring up Ms. Tiffany Carter Washington, wanted you to know that this is Digital Equity Month. So as part of my position as the Digital Skills and Accessibility Director, I've been looking at programming throughout the state focused on digital skills and digital literacy. So these next set of 3 presenters are going to present on some of the digital skills programming that we offer, some in the Delta and some throughout the state. So before we move on to that, I wanted to also recognize Mr. Sherman Kizart and also Tom Pittman, who serve on our planning committee, and they help us identify some of these programming that happen across the state and help us identify areas that are in need. So we are thankful for the 2 of them for being here today. So Ms. Tiffany Carter Washington is with Microsoft. She's our TEALS regional manager. She does programming in K-12. So, Ms. Tiffany?
Good morning, good morning. Angela, is there any way I can get pushed back? I don't want to go behind the commissioner. It was so entertaining to me and very enlightening. Thank you very much. I'm here to speak about a philanthropic program that Microsoft has, and it's called TILS, as Technology, Education, and Learning Support. And so after listening to both Ms. Doty and Commissioner, I think I'm going to switch it up a little bit today. I was glad to be able to come out and speak to you all because I just did a presentation to the director of TILS and our vice president about, I think it was last month, and I'm looking to add some schools to my repertoire here in Mississippi in the area that I am focusing on this school year, upcoming school year for the 23-24 school year, is the Delta. I think I had 18 schools on my list that are currently either not offering any kind of computer science programming or they need assistance. And of those 18 schools, the majority are coming out of the Delta. So it's quite ironic that I got this call or this email from Angelique, and I'm so glad. So since listening to you all, I'm kind of deviate from where I was, but I'm gonna go ahead and she told me what to do when I wasn't listening. And I'm acting, excuse me, I'm gonna feel like I used to do that call. I'm acting like a male, and I'm not listening to instructions, I'm sorry. I used to teach a lot of men, so I had to give it back. I am Tiffany Carter Washington, the TILS Regional Manager for Microsoft. Just to give you a little bit of background about me and why this means so much to me as far as reaching underrepresented minorities and females to get them into the computer science program. When I left Jackson State and I was hired at Hughes Network Systems in Maryland, Germantown, Maryland. I got married August 31st, and 3 weeks later I said, see you later, honey. And I took off to Maryland, and he stayed in the Jackson area at the time. We were in Jackson. And I did that for 4.5 years. I was an application computer engineer with Hughes Network Systems. And one of the things that always happened to me when I walked into a market, because my job was traveling around the southeastern part of the United States mostly. I did a little work in Milwaukee, Maryland, of course, in Virginia. But every time I walked into a new market, I was always the only African American. I never worked with another African American engineer. And in most cases, unless there was a secretary or an admin in the building, I was the only female. So to say that minorities and females are underrepresented in this occupation is, I'm living proof of that. I remember when I was getting ready to go into a meeting, and it was my first time as a lead. I was so excited. I was in there working on my notes. I wanted to just blow everybody away. And the vice president of the company we were partnered with walked in, and he said, hey, I said, you're a double minority. And then he looked at my hand, he said, oh, I'm sorry, you're a triple minority. And I'm like, what is he talking about? I'm trying to raise this knee, I'm nervous. And he said, you're African American, you're female, and you're left-handed. He said, you're a triple minority. He said, when you walk into these offices of ours, you are outside the box. Because nobody looks like you. There are no females here. He said, no African Americans here. So you get here, you have all these Caucasian males, 30 to 40 years old, and they're looking at you like, where did she come from? But after a while, you come in and show them what you can do, and guess what? They'll open a little opening for you in their box, and they'll let you in. So I want to give other kids the opportunity to be let into this box that's called IT. Because computing occupations are the #1 job wages that are being offered right now throughout the United States. And we have more openings than we have people to fill. So we need to start educating our kids now. There is a dire need because 6 different studies show that kids who take a computer science class do better in their other subjects because you're taught analytical skills. And 17% of those students go on to college. And even though most kids are not able to go on to college because of financial situations or whatever the case may be, I'm gonna get this right out the bottom. I'm an IT person. I have over 25 years of this. But for some reason, I can't get it today. But there's a need for us to get this out to our students right now at this age where they can take this and go with it. Now, like I was saying, a lot of kids may not be able to go to college. Of course, I just read a paper of my daughter. She's a senior at Madison Central. And in her paper, she doesn't know I'm reading her essays. I gotta stop slipping up and saying, oh, you remember when you wrote that? And she's like, oh, I like this stuff. Because I'm going in looking at her stuff, because that's the kind of parent I am. She wrote in her paper, she says, my brother and I were never asked if we're going to college. We were always asked, where do we want to go to college? All kids do not have that opportunity. Computer science is the one field that you do not have to go to college to be successful in. I know plenty of people who have gone on to build great computer science careers and live wonderful, very prosperous lives because it's a field that offers so many different opportunities. And I want to be able to give this to the students, especially right now. Like I said, my main focus for the upcoming school year is the Delta area. So if I can get this program into the Delta school, and I see a lot of people who know a lot of people, because in Mississippi, because I left here for about 11 years and came back, and as I try to tell my director, Mississippi is a different breed. We have to know somebody, we have to network to get to somebody before we can make a connection with somebody. So I need for you all to use your connections to help me to get into some of these schools around here so I can let these superintendents and principals know that we're offering this program. And it's a free program. It doesn't cost the schools anything. The only thing that may cost the school something is the curriculum they choose, if they choose to, but most of our curriculums are free. So what we do is we pair up, and I'm going totally off the slide, so just ignore all of this now. Y'all have just totally changed me up, you too. I guess it's a good thing I did come behind you all. So what we do is, we're going to start it up in a minute. We pair industry professionals with schools or school districts where most of our teachers are coming from biology, chemistry, math, art. They have no computer background at all. So what we do, these IT professionals remote in, because we remoted in before COVID happened, because the whole premise of TEALS is one, to reach underrepresented minorities and females, and three, reach kids in areas, in rural areas where you don't see IT professionals every day. Most kids don't even know that these jobs exist. So we take these IT professionals, they remote in, and in some cases now that COVID is over, they're going back into the schools in person, and they're teaching this material not just to the students, but they're teaching this material to the teachers. And what happens is the volunteers teach about 80% of the time, the teachers there when she starts here, she starts to teach about 20% of the time. And then we move over to what we call our lab support, where the teacher does 80% and our volunteers do 20%, and eventually they'll graduate. And then the teacher is able to teach these classes independently, and in most cases, they're able to teach other teachers within their school or their school district this information, and so that the gift keeps on giving. And guess who benefits the most from it? The kids, the students. When I do my interviews for my volunteers, let me tell you how Mississippi is. Last school year, I had 40 volunteers. Of those 40 volunteers, I had 4 volunteers that lived within the state of Mississippi. I had 3 in the Jackson area, and I had 1 at Mississippi State. And she was hired by the school district that we partnered with. So I don't even have her this year. She was just that good, superintendent hired her on for this current school year. We need more people within the state to get out and volunteer. 36 of my volunteers come from the West Coast. And yet, the majority of them are Microsoft employees, of course they are, because they do require, or they do push for their employees to volunteer to get back. But I also have volunteers from Google, Facebook, as well. So what I need from you all, like I said, I need you all's connections to help me to connect. Because this means a lot to me, personally. When I interview my volunteers, and I interview my female volunteers, it doesn't matter if they're Asian, Hispanic, Indian, they all have the same story. I am the only female on my team of engineers, of 15 to 20 people. In this day and time, we still do not have enough women in this field. We do not have enough minorities in this field. And this is a very, very lucrative field. Think of something that you can do every day if you don't use a computer. Anything? I left home one day without my driver's license and my debit card. And I said, I'll just keep going. The next day I left without my cell phone. What did I do? I turned around, the child was just going to be late and picked up the car from that day. But I went back for my phone. Technology is here. It's ever changing. As I used to teach to my students, if you don't like change, IT is not for you. Because you change all the time. We're constantly learning. And I want to give other kids the opportunity to grow and learn in this field. So therefore, I'm gonna hand out some flyers in the back before we leave and some business cards. And I know all you good people are gonna take some and pass them around. And don't worry, when I leave today, I'm stopping at some of these schools in the Delta, and I'm gonna do the same thing there. Because I am determined to help these students. Do you know we have 2 school districts in this state that offer 0 computer science classes on any level? Middle school or high school, 0. We have almost half of our high schools do not offer computer science in the state of Mississippi. Our students are getting left behind. Our students are missing out on great opportunities. We have to teach our kids that there is more to life than sports and music. That there are other opportunities for them to get out of that parking line that they might be in right now. And this is the easiest way of telling you. See, if you, like I said, even if you don't go with computer science as your major, it will help you in whatever you decide to do in life. A lot of your CEOs, guess what? Computer science background. Started out as programmers. So, I know I changed my program up a little bit. I guess I should just play this one little video for y'all so I can say like I did something I was supposed to do today. If I can get it to going. I'm having a hard time with this laptop, I tell you. One thing about IT, when technology works, it's great, and when it doesn't, it sucks, as I teach my students.
Drinking warm water before bed fixes tooth and gum problems overnight. People are healing.
Nuance is a city that sticks to the soul. What we're trying to do is we want to bring the technology sector in here. I'm Kurt Thomas. I'm a teacher here at the God 35 Senior High School. I'm teaching the TILS Computer Science class. So the TILS is a program that sets up a computer science curriculum, and Microsoft TILS is looking to make sure everybody has an equal opportunity inside of the tech industry. TILS have volunteers that come in from different sectors of the tech world and also include their expertise in bringing knowledge to the classroom as well.
I found my way to the TILS program as a Fact 35 alumni. Giving back to my school was really a no-brainer. I started in this industry 25 years ago, so I would walk into a room many times and I was the only Black woman in that room. So being able to see themselves in a technology leader is really important.
When I walked into the computer science class, I was like, yo, Mr. Thomas, can I make a game? He was like, yeah, you could also do more than just make games. And that's sparked my interest into computer science even more.
The impact that TILS have had on our students, first of all, is empowerment. They're realizing their own potential because they can do things that they thought were not within reach. At first, I wasn't really confident in my creative skills, but actually being in the program is allowing me to get out there and share with people how creative I am. It is also important to me to know the intent of TIL's mission to kind of incorporate more diversity and having more people that look like our students, Black and brown students, included in this career path that could potentially change their trajectory and their earning potential within life. The whole idea of having our volunteers on campus and the industries in which which people come in to work with our students, I think just really heighten our excitement about the program.
I hope that someday when I run into students, I hope that they say that this class has changed their life. If your school is thinking about partnering materials, I would say yes, that's 2 thumbs up, go ahead and do it. My question is, why haven't you started already?
So I set my timer so I won't over my time and it went off while the video was playing. So, I'm gonna follow instructions and I'm gonna sit down if I can. And so if you have any questions, please reach out to me. You can scan this code to take you to the website where you can gather more information about TILs and what TILs can do for schools in your area. Thank you all for your time and I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms. Tiffany. As you can see, this type of programming in our K-12 can be life-changing. The students need this to be able to compete in this technologically advanced era. So thank you so much. Next, we'll be hearing from our library system. As I bring them up, I wanted to also recognize some more elected officials that have come in. If you'll please stand, Mr. Rosa, Mr. Sanders, Marla, please be recognized. And thank you for being here today. Coming next is Ms. Mary Ann Griffin. She's the director of the Sunflower County Library System. We wanted them to come today to bring awareness to some of the digital skills programming that are happening right around you. So, without further ado,
good morning. So my good friend, Mr. Simmons, is walking out the door just in time for my presentation. That breaks my heart. Good morning. I do appreciate this opportunity to talk with y'all about what public libraries are doing to help address what we call the digital divide. And so I was asked to share with y'all what we have been doing at the Sunflower County Library System. And so, again, there we go. Yes. And let's see, I can relate with Miss Washington, I think it is, left-handers. I'm a left-handed person, and I bet you the iPad is not set up for left-handers to hit the right button. Thank you. All right. So, a little bit about me. I became a librarian in 2011. My background is in elementary education, 12 years as a 5th and 6th grade teacher. Y'all think that's amazing? And 12 years as an elementary school administrator. And I became director in 2011 in Sunflower County. And in Sunflower County, we have 5 public libraries that kind of stretched along Highway 49, starting at Louisville, coming on down to starting at Drew, coming on down to Louisville, Indianola, take a little side swipe to Moorhead, and then head on south to Inverness. So we have a little string of libraries down through the county. We have presently only 9 staff members, including me, to run 5 library branches in the county. So we have teams, and then the teams have feathers in their hats when we change roles. So what I'm going to do today is kind of share with you some of the things we have done to address the digital divide. Of course, historically, public libraries have been providing digital access for quite a while. We do it through and I'm taking the time to share this information because a lot of times folks